from Detroit, Michigan, USA. In my house. In my house. In my house. Hosted by T. Carlita. In my house. Hosted by T. Carlita. Hosted by T. Carlita. Hosted by T. Carlita. Live from Detroit, Michigan, USA. Live, 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 live. In my house.
Welcome to another episode of the In My House Techno Music Show. I am your host, T. Carlita, and this week we are reaching back into the archives to one of, I feel, is one of the biggest highlights that have happened, and one of the biggest moments for me as the host and producer of this show is connecting with the one and only Alexander Robotnick. We met a couple of years ago, and we met via internet. I reached out to him through his SoundCloud page, and he responded, which was really great. And we set up a Skype interview. I recorded his Skype interview, and then after that, he came to Detroit and participated as one of the guests for two of my Welcome to Detroit International vinyl parties the week of Movement Festival for 2 years straight. And I love him for that, and come to find out his birthday is June 6th, mine is June 7th, so we are kindred spirits by our birth dates as well. So let's just take a look at the interview, his first Skype interview that I had. He is missed. He will not be traveling the United States 2 years ago when he came and did the vinyl party, the International Welcome to Detroit party, I'm sorry. That was his last time coming to the States. So I am just really grateful that I got a chance to not just meet him, but hang out with him and become good friends with him. And everyone who came to see him at the events, I appreciate you, and everybody who showed up when we hung out at Detroit Threads, I appreciate you too. And he had a good time at the Detroit Techno Militia barbecue. He went there with me too, so he had a good time. He is truly a legend, and I'm happy to not only love him as an artist and the legend that he is, I'm so happy that today I can call him my friend. So here is the archive interview of Alexander Robotnick. You are In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
Oh, I can't see I want to see your face.
Yeah. Can you see it?
No.
Oh, I don't know a way I can do it.
Can you do it?
I'm sorry. I'm with him. Okay. This is. Oh. This is maybe.
I see you doing something there.
Il video è disattivato.
Take your time.
Come faccio a attivare il video? Allora, this coming. Video ho fatto. Ok.
Hi, there you are. There he is. Oh my gosh, he's gorgeous.
Alexander Robotnick.
Mr. Robotnick, good evening to you. I see you. Hi. You see me too? Yay. Don't you love the internet?
Yeah. In the bottom. I'm a monster as usual.
It's okay. It's okay. So, how do you say good evening, good morning? Say it in Italian for me. Say hi. Say something to me.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, Katia. Anche se qui è pomeriggio. Buongiorno.
Okay, it sounds French. So, it does. It's Italian though. So, Mr. Robotnick, I have a question for you.
Great.
So, How did you come up with? Okay, your name. Say your name. Tell your birth name.
Alexander Robotnick. My real name is Maurizio Dami.
So there it is, Maurizio Dami.
Dami, yeah.
Maurizio Dami. Can you
So
tell?
why you call yourself Alexander Robotnick?
Yes. How? Why?
Exactly. So it's a long story because Alexander Robotnick was a little novel I wrote. So there was this title. This guy was supposed to be born in Kamchatka and then emigrated in France because of the Stalin persecution, you know. So that's why he was singing in French. And that's the story. So I invented this name because of this short novel I wrote. And then at that time, all Italians artists choose English name because also in Spaghetti Western, all the director and the actor were supposed to be English, but they were Italian, you know.
Okay.
And also music, this happened a lot with Italo Disco. Everybody will have English name, so they pretended to be American, but I pretended to be Russian. So just to do something different.
Because you are different, right? You are very different. Say different. Say, how do you say different in Italian?
Differente, it's similar.
Okay, so differente. So I am differente. Say that one.
Io sono differente. Io sono diverso, si dice.
All right. So how do I say yes in Italian?
Sì.
See, oh, that's good. I could do that one. Okay, well, I'm gonna do a little.
That's very famous, this one.
Got it. So let's talk about we have a song that everybody over here we love, and this is how I came inspired to reach out to you. And first of all, let me first say thank you for responding to my SoundCloud message, because first of all, I was glad that it was for really you. So grazie for that. Grazie. Well, before I go with the first question, let's talk about, can I have an ashtray?
Yeah, can I have an ashtray? Because I'm a heavy smoker. And no one smokes in the studio, you know, so but I like to smoke in my studio. I don't care about synthesizer. Anyway, they are still alive 30 years later, and I smoked a lot. They are still alive, I'm still alive, so I don't care.
Does your synthesizer smoke cigarettes with you?
No, but I smoke cigarettes, so they smoke cigarettes too.
All right, so you are smoking.
Yeah, I'm a bad smoker.
So let's talk about problems d'amour.
Problèmes d'amour.
Yes.
Yeah, problème d'amour.
Problème d'amour. Thank you for correcting me on that. How did you come up with that? What was the inspiration behind Problème d'amour?
Okay. Tonton Club, it was Aua, BBC, this stuff. This Aua I had in my brain. And then the story was, first I invented the story. The story was a robot who had fallen in love for a girl, but he's afraid she can understand he's a robot. So he's not sure the hand have the right temperature, or when he sleep, he doesn't snore,
Okay.
and this is his pain for love, So problème d'amour is that. Then the music. At that time, I was listening a lot of English pop and new wave. So my taste was to listen to Joy Division and New Order, this stuff. And my first project, Italian project, was Avida, and it was a kind of dance cabaret. With the music was very dark and in style of new wave, but the lyrics were totally nonsense, So this music, I liked that, and people appreciated that, but there were no way to make some money with that music, So I met a friend of mine, it was Giampiero Bigazzi from Fast Records, and he told me, if you put just a bass drum in 4 and you sell 10,000 copies, this is disco music, the money is there. So I went home and I started to work on disco music because I need money,
Right.
And what I produced was Problème d'amour, that is disco music at all, it's not. And it didn't match the disco music of that time, And so why he was not taking great consideration at first, especially in Italy, just in Naples, because in Naples has a big taste of music, they appreciated that track. And then after a while, some friend of mine coming back from UK or USA, he told me, I saw your record in a record shop, or I listened to your track in a club, but at that time it was very provincial, no English at all. I was used to go just to India.
Wow.
So I didn't care. And after a while I was also bored by that project. So I turned on different stuff, But after 2000, when I was connected on internet, one day I tried to digit Alexander Robotnick on Alta Vista. There was a search engine at that time, and I got 30,000 results. I can't remember, but something impressive. So it was a very bad period for me because I was making world music during the 90s. But at the end of that period, that music was not in fashion anymore. So I needed money. I was 50, was no job, and that's why I thought, okay, maybe I can go back to Alexander Robotnick. And someone sent me an email. Do you still DJing? Never DJ in my life. I answered, yes, I'm still DJing. And I started DJing in France in 2003. On 6th of June, it was my birthday.
Hey, I'm June the 7th. My birthday's June 7th. All right, we're going to have a party.
Oh, that's my day.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay, it started everything. Now is how long is 12 years I'm DJing, and that's a very long time.
Okay. So now, so you do know that. Do you even know that that record is still that it still has a strong impact today? Do you know? Do you understand that?
Yeah, now I understand it. For a long period, I couldn't listen to that, honestly, because to me it was not professional, or it was, I didn't like the sound, especially during the 90s, you know.
Okay.
And the groove also was not working much for me.
Okay.
But then in 2000, I listened to that track again, and suddenly I thought, oh, wow, this is very good. And I still play it.
Okay. So when you
And
made
I
it,
still sing it, I still have fun to sing it. So now I'm more proud of this track than the period I made it.
that is amazing. So a track that you made, you really didn't quite like it, but you put it out anyway, and it became a very famous. I mean, your name is known with that track. You know that.
Yeah, it's very linked to that track. Sometimes it's kind of prison, but I'm very advantage on this stuff.
Right. So for what you do now, the music that you do now, where are you mostly accepted? Where do you where's your fan base come from today?
Huh. This is a big question. I don't know because when I started DJing, it was Electroclash was in fashion, and Electroclash was connected in some way to the 80s. So for me, it was easy. It was like to go on something that I just interrupted, 20 years ago, and I go straight. But then things changed because 3 or 4 years later, the minimal techno came, and then things started to go back to the 90s. And the 90s for me was a very no period for me for dance music. I was not used to go to clubs at all, as just some raves, or I listened to radio during the night, and I appreciated what in Italy was called underground. It was the first deep house with the organs, this stuff, and I liked that music, but never did it. And in that period, I was just India, Kurdistan, world music, Africa, and no European music at all. But anyway, now the problem is everything is on again. Okay, from new wave, from Italo disco, deep house, tech house, electro, techno, everything commercial, trance, and everything seems to be stable, like doesn't move. Okay.
Right.
And in this situation, I just starting using the styles as word, as colors, as just part of expression. But I can't refer myself to any style anymore, in this period.
Okay. So let's talk about techno music a little bit, because my show is I like to call where true stories are told and great music is played. And it centers, because I am from Detroit, I'm born in Detroit. So the show is centered around Detroit techno, right? So what are your ideas about the Detroit techno scene? And you can answer this question from when you first found out about Detroit techno up until what Detroit techno is, the movement, just Detroit techno in general.
Yeah, okay. I got into Detroit techno basically maybe 20 years later than it was created. Because first time I started to hear about Detroit techno was in 2002, 2003, when I was and still am friends of Marco Passarani and the crew in Rome that was really friends of underground resistance. And so they introduced me to Detroit techno. But in that period, it was not the music in fashion in Europe. So I was listening to it, but not much, and not with the heart of my friends, because they lived the first period. So the born of that music, it was much more exciting than listening to that 10 years later, understand? That's why I don't know much of Detroit techno, but every time I listen to something and this I like and this is Detroit techno. So it's just an knowledge,
Okay.
but I appreciate it, and it's funny because Alexander Robotnick is taken good consideration in two cities, American cities, that are really not really friendly between them, So Detroit and Chicago. So there is always big competition. It's like in Italy is Firenze and Pisa, it's always like this since centuries.
Okay.
So it's strange for me because I don't know which part represents me more, if Chicago or Detroit. For something, maybe it's Chicago, because, for example, at the first, when Problème d'Amour came, it was a distributor from Chicago that appreciated that track, and he believed in that. He started to spread it in the States, and a local radio took like jingle for his radio for 10 years. So when one time I was playing in Chicago, I went out of the club in the morning, I was smoking my cigarette, but not 20, I don't know, the law, the absurd law, like 20 meters from the club, no? So a police car stopped in front of me. I thought, oh fuck, because I'm smoking in the entrance. But he went out with a poster, and he asked to sign the poster,
Oh, wow.
It was a poster robot. And then 10 minutes later, he came back with another poster. This is my colleague, he want you sign the poster for him,
Wow.
So this is funny, In Detroit, when I played at the festival,
Yes.
it was like 2004, 2005, I can't remember well. But really, I understood the mood of Detroit, of that music. So for the first time, I saw Underground Resistance live, and I knew that this kind of part of music I missed and when it was the time to listen to it. Now I think that music could be in fashion again, because the young people, they are more and more attracted by techno, and they are listening a lot of techno from the early 90s, the end of 80s. So I think now there is much more room for that music, and I start also to listen to it more than before.
Okay.
That's all I can say about Detroit.
Well, I really truly appreciate you.
I want to say something else.
Yes.
About Detroit.
Okay.
I went there for the festival. The atmosphere on the festival was good, but in the city was not very good. There was kind of depression around and a lot of dead girls, and so the mood was not fantastic. But this year I went there just last month, and I had a totally different impression. A lot of, I don't know, I love that new city for the architecture first, because the tower of Detroit are the best in the world. And it's very a pity if someone is not well in well conditions, But I think so for the first time I saw a clean downtown. These towers in the sky was fantastic, and nice people around. So completely different mood. So congratulations, because I think your city is getting up again.
Yes, we are, and I appreciate you saying such wonderful things about our city. And one more thing, what is Mr. Alexander Robotnick working on now? What are some of your new projects? What are you doing now?
Yeah, okay. Basically a new album. This time I produced too much in the last 2-3 years, because I had a problem, family problem or something, so I was a bit anxious, and when you are anxious, you start to release music, and sometimes it's too much. So now I want to take my time to make a very good and last album. Okay. And second is the project I have with Ludo Spinski, that is the Analog Session. It's a very big project because it's electronic music but improvised. and we use synthesizer not just for producing music, but we play them and we improvise with them, and the results is a kind of techno that has nothing to do with the present and past techno. It's something new, and so I'm very excited by this project. I want to go on.
I'm a monster.
Say hello, Detroit.
Yeah, hello, Detroit. I'm here.
La bouche qui veut t'embrasser, va bien, t'aperçois, n'a pas de goût à ouah.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help. You know, most of my life I was a resident of Wayne County, and so I'm here to help because Treasurer Chabris wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Take the first step towards staying in your home by going down to the Wayne County Treasurer's office on the 5th floor of the International Building in Greektown.
Stop by today to learn more about our payment plans and especially the newly extended interest rate reduction program.
Already in the payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Making property tax payments is now easier than ever. We have placed payment kiosks in Rite Aid stores and community centers across the county. We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
Get ready for the 3rd annual 2 turntables and a mixer right here in my house, in the yard, in the house. Those that have been here, you already know the deal. You know where I live. You know you can come by. It's just a fun time, and we'll have 5 or 6 DJs that are going to hit the turntables. Not a lot of talking, more music that day, and it will be streamed live. Details of who is actually going to be guests will be announced soon. And more information can be found on our Facebook event page. So for now, this is just letting you know, mark your calendar, Friday, May 25th, 5 to 10, 5-hour live, 2 turntables and a mixer, all vinyl, pure vinyl, nothing but vinyl. Well, I hope you enjoyed the archive interview with Alexander Robotnick. And those photos were from when he was here both years. So it was a little bit of the barbecue, Detroit Techno Militia barbecue, hanging out at Detroit Threads, and just having a good old time with Alexander Robotnick. Thank you so much. We love you. And hopefully you'll come back to Detroit one day just to hang out. You don't have to play. Just come and hang. We'll take care of you if you do decide to come back. But for now, let's finish the show out with one of my favorite DJ mixes from another international friend, brother from one of my international brothers from Belgium, Detune. This is his Belgium to Detroit mix. You'll hear part of it, not the entire thing. Just look it up on SoundCloud, look him up on Mixcloud. Just look up Detune and you can hear the rest of it. But I'm going to play out what I can for the rest of this show. This is his Belgium to Detroit mix. I enjoyed it. I loved it from the first day when he let me hear it. And it's always something that I love to continue to share on the In My House Techno Music Show. Thank you so much. 4 years strong. Hey, thank you. It's been a fun time. We appreciate you. We love you. This is T. Carlita for the In My House Techno Music Show, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
If you can hear this, you are a part of the resistance. The resistance. We are the resistance. rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Above all, know that the resistance is all over the world to face spiritual warfare. The rulers of the darkness are planning something big, and the resistance is planning something bigger. So stay strong and faithful. Remember, no weapon that is formed against us shall prosper. Brothers, sisters, we are the resistance. Unite.
You are In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.